Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Mariandrea, and I have been so excited to do this video for some time. So, in the last year or so, I have received some book recommendations from some of my friends here on booktube, and I decided to create the competition that nobody signed up for. So, each of these booktube friends gave me a recommendation, not knowing that I would then create this kind of competition between them to see who recommended the best book to me, like which book actually made it to like my top books of the year. Um, so I am really excited to show you these books, talk about the reading experiences of these books, and um, let's get to it. So, the first recommendation that I received is from my friend Melinda at A Web of Stories. I am going to try to insert Melinda's recommendation here.
Lillian Boxfish Chicks Walk, and right now we're doing Symphony of Secrets, which my husband has prevented me from reading the last 2 days, so I will get back on schedule with that one. I am going to recommend for Mariandrea a book that I actually recommended to her in a video she recently posted about foodgasms. Check it out. Because I recommended this in the notes, but I really think this is a book that she would appreciate for the food writing, because she is a big foodie. And one thing that she'll do videos where she goes through her cookbooks and talks about all the food that she likes. And she's vegan, so if you're vegan, she'll give you lots of good ideas. I'm not sure if she'll like the book generally, and this is a book that I even didn't completely like generally, but it has some of the most amazing food writing in it. And that is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. The food writing in this is so spot on, especially from a writer who's not really a food writer. I wanted to eat everything that was in there, even when I stopped and thought about exactly what it was they were talking about with the food, and it was not what I would ever eat, because I'm not that adventurous. But the food writing is so amazing in this book, and I know that she likes food writing. So I'm going to say, and I know it's a little bit of a cheat because I did recommend this in the comments to a recent video for hers, but I still think that she would appreciate the food writing in it. So I'm going to say You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty.
So, Melinda recommended You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I had heard a lot of buzz about this book. I never read Akwaeke Emezi's books before, so going into this book was like a new experience for me, and I had no idea what to expect other than the fact that Melinda said the writing was exquisite. The food writing, particularly in this novel, was exquisite. So I picked this book up on audio. The next recommendation that I received is from my friend Nick at Dr. Cranky Pants Reads, and he created this game show in which he featured different of my booktube friends and then did some literary matchmaking, and here is his video.
Food in literary form. Number 2 brings us Kitchens of the Great Midwest, a quirky, heartwarming novel that blends food, humor, and family. It's the story of Eva Thorvald, a culinary prodigy and unforgettable people and dishes that shape her life. This book is packed with flavor, literally and emotionally. Each chapter centers around a dish, weaving together a narrative that's as satisfying as a farm-to-table feast. If you love books with heart, humor, and a side of Midwestern charm, this one's for you, Mariandrea.
Okay, so Nick recommended 3 books, and then he decided that the best book from the 3 books that he laid out for me as possible options for like literary matchmaking for me. And his top pick of those 3 books was Kitchens of the Great Midwest by J. Ryan Stradal. And I was super excited that he recommended this because I've had this on my bookshelves for years prior to getting his recommendation. And it'd been one that I had been wanting to pick up. Funny thing is that I had so been looking forward to it that I had wrapped it up for myself and forgotten that I had wrapped it up. Like I created this thing where I was trying to read books from my bookshelf and then I was going to draw them randomly to try to like motivate me to read books. And I never got to these books that were gift wrapped. Like they were in a basket and then put away. And I never remembered to come back to them. They were kind of out of sight, out of mind books. So then I'd forgotten that I gift wrapped this book and I was going crazy looking for this book when I was getting ready to read it. I did this challenge, by the way, during the months of October, November, December. So I started with this book in October and I was like going through my shelves, couldn't find it. I think my husband was finally like, oh yeah, I think you wrapped that one up and it's in that basket over there. I was like, oh. So I ended up getting this on audio because I could not find this book in time. And then, sure enough, it was gift wrapped in my basket that was tucked away. I really loved everything about how this book is packaged. I just have to say that this is a very comfortable book to hold, and I cannot wait to tell you more about this reading experience. And then the third recommendation that I received almost a year ago is from my friend Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club, and I'll insert her video here.
To mention another book that made me think of her, and that book is called, let me see, The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster by Shauna Robinson. This follows May, who is about to get married, and she has always wanted to connect with her estranged Black family in the South, and now that her wedding is approaching and she also gets news that her grandmother has passed away, that desire is even stronger and she decides that she can't wait any longer. What she finds is a family in turmoil, a long-standing grudge, there's a missing recipe for mac and cheese, and a barbecue on the brink of disaster. I think this book sounds very heartwarming and funny and just lots of family relationships, and I think that Mariandrea would enjoy this a lot. And I also want to throw in,
Hopefully. So, Ellen recommended 3 books. The Mother of All Problems is one that I think I can't remember if she had recommended Hot Mother and Mother of All Problems by Nancy Peach. I read either one of those, and so she had already recommended it prior, and it was already in process. Whichever one of those 2 books that I read by Nancy Peach, the Hot Mother or Mother of All Problems, I really, really enjoyed. And whichever one of those I haven't read, I have to go back and check which one is which. But I did want to read the next one. But the next, she recommended 3 books too. The second book that she recommended is the one that I went with for this reading competition. The third one that she recommended is one that I do want to read maybe this year. We'll see if I get to it. But the one that I chose for this competition is The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster by Shauna Robinson. I did have to order this book. I did have to acquire this book this year because I did not own it. I'd never heard of Shauna Robinson, and Ellen did a really great job at recapping this book, so I cannot wait to talk more about the reading experience of this book. So, out of the 3 books, I'm going to eliminate one. And so, out of 3 books, one gets eliminated. Can you guess which one I eliminate? Drop your guesses in the description, in the comments. Let me know what book you think I'm going to eliminate. So the book that I ended up eliminating as a DNF is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I picked up You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi in the month of December. I think Melinda was right. The food writing was really good. I probably read about 30%. I don't think I made it past 30%, but I couldn't. I really, really couldn't. I tried. The writing was really good. I have no complaints about the writing. The food writing was good. But like Melinda experienced, it wasn't any food that I was really interested in eating. I do have an adventurous palate, and I thought that so the main character, they go on this lavish vacation. They meet a chef, and this is like meeting a big celebrity chef, and that celebrity chef like taking them to the best restaurants, and there's all of these really exquisite like food experiences that the main characters or the characters in the novel are having, and there's a lot of um, sex through eating and sex through food, like the way that the writer talks about eating and food is very sexual. So it was really interesting, and that was really captivating. But I kind of felt when I was about into like getting into the 30% mark, like I was kind of reading a romp that I did not want to read. The story was really messy. The characters were very complicated and messy with their shenanigans. And I say the word shenanigans, and I don't mean it in an offensive way. I just mean it like it was kind of like a roller coaster ride a little bit. Like, and the main character, I just found myself like trying to, like, if the main character was my best friend or my friend, like, one, it'd be hard to be besties with them because I think that it's just a hard dynamic to imagine. But I really wanted to be compelled, and I kind of wanted to rein them in and say, like, wait, hold on, pause, think, don't do that. Like, just like, oh, there was so much that I just felt. And I found myself just like being so turned off by the drama. It was just too much like a rompy kind of drama. And it was December and I didn't really want that. I kind of was wanting a different vibe in my reading. So maybe it's just wrong book, wrong time. And maybe I could pick it up again when I'm ready or when I feel like I really want some drama in my life. But it just didn't work out for me in the month of December. So thank you, Melinda, for the recommendation. I do see exactly what you mean. I think I'm actually landing right about where you landed with like the food writing is great, but I don't know how I feel about the story or the characters, you know? That's kind of where I'm at with You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. If you love messy, complicated characters with just all sorts of drama, you might really enjoy it. Plus, the food writing and the descriptions of food are pretty sexy. So that's something to consider. Okay, so then we have these two books. Okay. The second one that I mentioned was Kitchens of the Great Midwest by Jane Ryan Stradal. I read this in the month of October, like I mentioned, and when I was reading it, I was like, for sure, this is going to be my favorite. It was such an immersive read, and I loved the structure of this book. This book is written in like vignettes, so you might experience the story from different, well, no, you do, you might, you experience the story as it's unfolding by different points of view of different people, centered, like surrounding the life of this amazing chef. So, Eva Thorvald is a chef, and it's Eva's story in terms of how Eva becomes this really amazing, like popular chef that is just pushing all the boundaries when it comes to food and entertainment. And she creates these really fancy dinners that everybody wants to get invited to, and getting on to this list of like meals like is such like a VIP kind of experience. And so from her childhood to the pinnacle of her career as a like world renowned chef, she encounters people who really impact her work, who inspire her in her growth as a person and also as a chef. And it's pretty amazing. So what this book does really, really well is um, J. Ryan Stradal writes characters so well. I mean, the plot is kind of loose, and it's kind of you're experiencing it in vignettes through different characters. So it's not like super plotty. It's very character driven, but the character writing here is extremely well done. The food is pretty amazing. It's adventurous. You're really never bored reading this book. I like the way that it shifts and flows between characters, and it's kind of like if you toss a ball to another character and then that character unfolds and like takes you in a different direction. I feel like there's a lot of like bounce, and um, it takes its unexpected um, ways, and I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed this book. So this was an excellent reading experience. I think in the end, I'm really hating star ratings these days, and I don't really know that I want to read it just yet, because there's nothing that doesn't make it a 5-star read. Like, this is a 5-star read. If I wanted to get nitpicky, I might say, well, this is a 4.5, but usually like 4.55. The only thing about this book is that it's not one that I would recommend to everybody, because I don't think that there's people who might not enjoy the fact that there's really very little plot. It's very character driven. It's quite short, and it's very readable. It's super accessible. It's fun to read, but it might not be everybody's thing. So I might not recommend it as much or as like widely, because of the way that like it's it's so steeped in like character and food. And it worked for me, but maybe not for everybody. Um, so all in all, this is a great reading experience, and I'm gonna go on to the next one, and then I'll tell you which one of these two is my favorite, gets first place. So in the Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster, you find a character who is biracial, and she's about to get married, and her grandmother passes away. She decides to go to the funeral and try to reconnect. She invites her dad's side of the family to the wedding, but doesn't get a reply. So when she goes to her paternal grandmother's funeral, she tries to reconnect with the Townsend family. And it's through the Townsend family that she has her Black heritage. And she has grown up mostly influenced by her mom's side of the family. Her mom's side of the family is white. And she is having a difficult time fitting in and getting to like understand and kind of know all the nuances, like the relationships between people in her family. And there are a lot of family secrets that she has to uncover, and I think she does family secrets extremely well. It almost creates this anticipation, because as a reader, I feel like as a reader, you kind of have this dramatic irony where you're figuring things out before the character does, and then it creates this anticipation, and you're just like really wanting her to find out all of these things that you're kind of putting together. The whole there's a whole thing about mac and cheese in here. It like made me crave mac and cheese. It made me cook mac and cheese. It was just really, really interesting and fun to see um, May, I think, yeah, May, the main character, try to figure out. Like she was obsessed with her grandmother's mac and cheese recipe, and she tries to make it happen. And without a recipe, like there's this missing recipe, and she's just trying to figure it out. Like it reminded me of Chef Detective that Sami Nasrat plays in a podcast, Home Cooking with Rishi Harway, which I love that podcast. And so there's this um, segment of Chef Detective, I think, that she tries to like figure out recipes that have been lost. So there's a little bit of that in this book, and it was totally fun and enjoyable. And I also give this book 5 stars, like for sure. So, of these two, which one wins? And the answer is this one. My favorite book of the three was The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster by Shauna Robinson. Yay! So the winner of this competition is my friend Ellen from Ellen Made Book Club. Well done, Ellen. You picked my favorite read for this competition you did not sign up for, and it was a whole lot of fun. I enjoyed reading this book so much, and really, Chef's Kiss, amazing, so fun. I've actually been thinking about writing Shauna Robinson an email because I think as a debut, wait, I think, no, this is not a debut. I'm just realizing this is not a debut. She has other books here, but this was such a fun book. So not a debut, but a fun, fun book. And I just really would like her to know that I absolutely love this book. Yeah, so that's it. Those were the 3 books two that I finished, one that I DNF'd, and all in all, it was a great time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my friends for recommending books to me, to thinking about me, and I will continue to check out any recommendations that they offer me in the future. I know I have one still pending from Ellen, I think a couple from Nick, and maybe I can do this again in the future with any future book recommendations that you send my way. Thank you so much. Hasta la próxima.